So, something that I think is kind of interesting is that I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I guess maybe I could have figured it out before I started the video. Whatever. Um, you know, so I am a guy, right? And being a guy, I feel I don't know if this is entirely accurate, but I feel like it might be sort of. But I really enjoy being a actually genuine human being. Like no agenda, no nothing. I mean, unless it's like blatantly obvious that I'm like being sarcastic or something, I usually mean exactly what I say. Um I also really enjoy being very, well, not really enjoy, but I prefer being specific about things. I mean, not like painfully, but I like. Whoa, my door is closed. I didn't know whether it was or not. Anyway, sorry. That was a sidetrack. Um, I really enjoy being a actually like. I'm, I prefer. Anyway, sorry. Back to my train of thought. I got distracted by my door. Jeez. Um, I prefer being specific. Not like brutally specific so that it takes me like 20 minutes to explain something that really should take like two. But I don't like I also usually just get to the point of what I'm saying or what I'm trying to say. Like I don't like when I like for instance, when somebody's like in my way, a lot of people say, "Excuse me." I say, "Can you move?" Because that's exactly what I want the person to do. Now, a lot of people might take that as me like being rude. I just want you to move. It's not that I am like being any which way. I just want a person to move. I mean, if I didn't want them to move, or anyway, so sometimes I can be, I things that I say could sometimes be taken as me being like blunt or like I said rude. I'm just trying to communicate, honestly. Back to being a guy though. Something that I see that is pretty, I don't want to say problematic, but it kind of sucks for me being a guy is that I feel like all guys get put into this like a stereotypical guy who pretends like everything's fine and there's nothing ever wrong and he can like do anything and usually ends up like playing video games or I don't know. Anyway, um those who may or may not be watching this could probably think of other examples of the stereotypical guy, right? So it actually kind of bugs me, or I don't want to say, well, yeah, I guess it does bother me, but I really don't like the stereotype that a guy has become to be over whatever over the years or whatever you want to call it. It really bugs me because um wow, this train of thought could go in a lot of different directions. Um, it can go long, short, I don't know. Um, but the thing is, there. So I was born with well, yeah, multiple. Um, I don't want to say disabilities. They're just kind of whatever they are. Now I can't think of the word. Gosh. Of course. As soon as I need the word, it's like, nope. And I'm like, okay, fine, jerk. Um, oh, no. I feel like I have impediments. They're not really disabilities. For instance, I was born with cerebral palsy and spastic hemiplegia, which I would assume that most people know what cerebral palsy is, or you could Google it. Um, Spastic hemiplegia means that I think it's that my muscles are just a little bit spastic. It mostly affected my right side. Now, oh, that's the other thing about being a guy. Most guys, I feel like they don't really want to like mention something that they can or can't do. It's like, for instance, there's a lot of things that I can't do because my right hand is not this like I'm not very ambidextrous, basically. And it means that there's a lot of things that I can't do. And I don't know that I was always super like comfortable with that. I I used to have really bad. It was mostly social, but it was social for a very specific reason, which last year apparently I got over. Um Anxiety. And I didn't really realize it because of like going to the therapist, but I realized it just because of life and living life. Anyway, so I realized what my anxiety was from, and it was because I always felt like I felt as though I was being stared at, with my right hand being the way it is. So I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this, but it's like guys always get stereotyped into they I don't know where my train of thought is going. Maybe it derailed. And I can't no, that like meme or video of that like lawnmower up in the sky going across? That's what I feel like my train of thought does when it derails. Really funny. Um I wish I could like attach that meme to this video, but it doesn't work the same. Um But anyway, like, just like me talking about all this stuff, this is me being very genuine. This is me being the real me. I'm not like pretending like everything's fine and pretending this, pretending that. I think, I feel like pretending is so annoying. I mean, okay, yeah, sometimes you have to pretend like everything is fine. It's like you go to the store and the cashier, you say like, oh, I'm doing okay. Yeah, you don't want to like say like, oh yeah, I hate my life, blah blah blah. No, not there, because that's like socially awkward. I don't know if it is. I mean, like for instance, a couple months ago, a few weeks ago, anyway, whatever. I was having a very bad week. I smashed my phone, and then also it was like cold, and my hands were like cracked open and stuff. It was tough. I I was also having some like personal problems with some various people, and I was just really struggling. And I was just like completely like brutally honest. Well, not brutal, but I was just like, well, this week started with me smashing my phone and blah 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 to like somebody at the store one time, and they were like, yeah, I know how it is. Like, you can be like socially acceptably honest about what's going on, but sometimes like going into too much detail can be a little sus or a little extra, or both, honestly. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing that I don't know if it bothers me necessarily, but it kind of does, is that me being a guy, I feel like I get grouped into the stereotype. Now, I am me, right? I am Bobby, and if you talk to me, you will find out who I am. But you a person can't just assume that, like, looking at me, that you know what kind of person I am. I mean, you can assume all day, but we all know what assuming does. So anyway, it kind of I don't know if it makes me sad, but it definitely bothers me that I feel like I get kind of grouped. I, f- I feel like socially, well, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. It's like I don't necessarily want to try being social. I mean, I am generally a relatively social person, but I don't know that I'd say that I like socializing because I feel like then I'm getting vibes from other people that they're like assuming things about me, blah blah blah. I don't know if that happens to other people, but I don't know. Maybe I just like catch vibes that are either wrong or I don't know. Anyway, more I guess what I'm sort of getting at is that you can't ever assume anything about anyone because you don't know until you talk to them. I mean, that's what I know about me. And I don't really want to like assume that about others because, that's assuming. And like I said, but I don't know. It's like I it's not even that I like want to assume the best of people because it has nothing to do with assuming the best. But I I almost feel like it kind of bugs me that like I feel like sometimes I feel like people don't necessarily talk to me because they think I'm going to be a certain way. And it, if you talk to me, you will find out. But until then, you don't know. And it's okay to not know. But if a person talks to me, then they will find out, you know? It's pretty simple, honestly. I mean, you don't I don't want to be a jerk, but I don't know. Life is a funny thing. People are funny, and communication can also be hilarious, but also like not hilarious too, obviously. And communication and not communication can lead to a lot of different things, a lot of different like assumptions that people have about each other and blah blah blah. I don't know. But yeah, I wish that people would, well, what if the world just like didn't make stereotypes? What if there wasn't such a thing? That would be very interesting. That would be hugely interesting. Um, because then people wouldn't have these ideas about certain different types of people. It'd be really cool. Well, from my perspective, or from the way I'm thinking about it, it would be very cool. Um, Basically, if you look at life as though there is no stereotype, I guess that's what I'm thinking about right now, is that irrespective of what a stereotype may or may not say about somebody, the person is still them for who they are, irrespective of what a stereotype may or may not say. I mean, it may not be exactly what somebody might, it may not be exactly like the idea that that person might want to have about that person that they're stereotyping or whatever, but that person is still who they are, irrespective of what you may or may not assume about them. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, I want to be a genuine person, and I want to be like, I want to be real with myself, but I also want to be real with other people. And like back to what I like that really bad week that I had, being real with other people about like say what's going on in my life, like say maybe I'm having a bad week, just saying like yeah, the struggle's real, and they're like yup, like it's relatable, you know, it's much more relatable than just saying oh I'm doing okay. I mean I guess that's sort of relatable, but I don't know, it's that's just a generic answer. But yeah, also, it does really help a person be real with themselves about how they are doing. Not just, oh, I'm doing okay. Because what if you're not doing okay? Then what? So, yeah, I think my train of thought may have derailed some or just sidetracked maybe. I'm not sure. You know, I like to do that. I no, my brain likes to do that. Bobby himself doesn't like to do that. But Bobby's brain is like, let's go for a joyride. And Bobby's like, what? Um, so yeah.